I was in a bit of a weird place, I guess. I've consistently put on weight ever since I've had my children, and the eldest is 20 now. So I'd gone through the whole, Weight Watchers, Slimming World, gym, fit club, all this sort of stuff. I tried everything. I've always managed to lose the weight, but then I did that classic thing of I lost quite a lot reasonably quickly, and then it all piled back on again, probably with a bit more on top. And I think there was just there was the physical stuff of the weight. I've also got a really dodgy knee, so I'm getting on a bit, and I'm really conscious that I'm carrying weight and that's not helping that knee. And then there's just some other stuff going on family-wise that just was putting me in a really sort of low place as well. So I think all of that combined together just put me in a really bad moment, I think. And that's what actually made me send the message, because it's like, come on, you've looked at this stuff, you've looked at a coach, you've looked at all these things, and you've never actually done it. And it's like, what have you got to lose now? Just go for it. Worst that can happen is you don't like the bloke and you don't go and do his program. You maybe find something else. But I think it took me getting to that really low point to actually be brave enough to just go for it. I've hit 50. I'm too fat. I haven't got enough energy. I'm in that place where I don't want to try new stuff because I think I'm going to fail anyway. So we had a thing at work a couple of years back where they did just a great big sponsored walk, basically, and I would have loved to have done it, but I just didn't think I was capable of doing it. Even if I trained, I didn't think I would be able to do it. And I thought, I'm going to be the one that has to bail out, and that's going to be really embarrassing, and I just don't even want to try. And I think that sort of encompassed everything that I was thinking at the time, that there's no point trying anything because it's just not going to work. But there was something about his posts that they were forwarded to me by somebody else, but something about what he was writing, I was like, I think this guy might actually understand how low I have gone. So yeah, I'd done the classic, I'll join the gym in January. And that went okay for a few weeks. And then there was always something that got in the way. So basically, it was always an excuse that got in the way. Work's too busy, or I've got to get somebody to school, or whatever. So that always tailed off. I tried Weight Watchers with me and my husband, actually, and that worked, again, all right for a little while, but then just petered off. Probably last year, I signed up with Slimming World because they opened in the village. And again, that was all right for a while, but I lost a bit, and then everything just tailed off again. So I just lost interest and lost the motivation to keep on going with that. So pretty much every sort of trying every sort of slimming type plan out there, trying it on my own, trying it with people, thinking the ritual humiliation of weighing every week would perhaps spur me on, but it didn't. And then I suppose I'd done the other thing of trying to do the exercise on my own, but maybe not having that combination together. So yeah, pretty much, I think everything that was out there I've probably tried, so to no avail. I mean, I need to lose a lot, because I'm way too heavy. At least 4 stone, I just said, on top of everything. But I think when I started with Christian, I'd got that whole thing of, well, maybe if I can do maybe 2 stone at one hit. And I think that came from the Slimming World type of thing of like, you can lose 3-4 pounds a week sort of stuff. What I've actually learned in a way is that, I suppose something I already knew, but I don't know, it just didn't kick in my brain, is that that whole thing of just losing a small amount all the time is likely to just maintain that all the time. So I suppose my goal in a way was 1 to 2 stone and then, but I was sort of flexible on the weight because it was just a case of consistently getting some of it off, I think. I'd lost the weight, so I think the last time I was at Slimming World, I lost nearly a stone. But then it all just went back on again, partly down to me not maintaining how I was eating, but I didn't think I was able to do that. It just didn't fit in with me, my lifestyle, etc. So I would lose it and then it would go back on again. Actually, I guess it's a weird thing because you sort of expect that you need that sort of one-to-one contact, I don't know, in a field doing boot camp or something, you know. But I don't, maybe it actually worked better being online for me. And yeah, I was surprised how much I got out of it all. Just having those weekly check-ins has been a massive thing for me, without any hesitation. I don't know, it's almost like a switch has flicked a little bit in my head that on all sorts of things. So my ability to deal with stuff, and if you like motivate myself to do things has it's just had a really dramatic mind shift, I think. I suppose the first thing for me was when we did that initial phone call, that I thought I'm going to be too old to do this, because, you know, he was sort of aiming at like middle-aged women, if you like, and I think I'm over that. So I suppose there was that, and that he would maybe just think I was a lost cause. So I think apart from that, I was reasonably confident that if I got started, that I would keep going with it. So I think there was only that slight worry that he wouldn't want to take me on, but I felt that if he did, that it would just give me a kick up the bum, basically, to get on and do stuff properly. Really, no, I suspect that the weight would have just kept creeping up. Maybe I'd have gone back to Slimming World and lost a little bit again, but then it would still have crept back up again. I think part of the thing with the coaching has been not so much the focus on the physical goal of losing the weight. For me, it flipped round quite a lot. So there was a lot of focus on the sort of psychological stuff behind why this stuff hadn't worked before. So I would rather, I think, I don't know how to phrase it really. I don't know. I think I would have just got further down. So I would have probably it would have been give up, just accept the fact you're going to be a flabby 50-year-old. That's the way life is, and your knee's going to hurt, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it. So yeah, things would have just got worse gradually, I suppose. Yes, absolutely. It's probably been the best thing I've done for months, to be honest. So a bit scary when you actually say yes, because you sort of you know what you're signing up for physically, but maybe didn't quite grasp how much sort of behavioural stuff was going to go on as well. So but I'd still sign up now, knowing some of the stuff I was going to do. So definitely. For me, definitely the behavioural stuff. So it wasn't all focused on physical things. Yes, there was an element of diet and exercise, but a lot of the coaching exercises that he got me to do were really, really important from my point of view, and they really, really made me think and analyse and assess why I do stuff. And that's allowed me to look at the decisions I make on a daily basis and sort of make a choice. So I've always said to him, you know, I get to the end of the day, maybe it's been a hard day at work. I really want the chocolate digestive biscuit, but it's with the tea, but it's given me a chance to almost step back each time and go, do you really want the chocolate biscuit? If you do, fine, have it. You know, you've had a bad day, you just want to treat yourself, whatever. But if you think about it a little bit harder, do you really actually want it? Do you need it? Or is the cup of tea all right? And it's just given me that toolbox, if you like, to make a positive choice, I guess, for everything. So, and also to look at stuff where, looking at sort of wins for the day, things like that, where I can put stuff down, everything that's happened during the day, and I can look at stuff and flip it round into being a positive thing. And that's just made a huge difference to my mindset around everything I do. It's allowed me to make a decision to get up a bit earlier in the morning, not a lot earlier, but just enough that I get a little bit of space before everybody else is up. And I can choose to do what I want to do in that space, whether it's a bit of meditation or doing a workout or whatever. But before, I would never have made that conscious choice. So yeah, it's a difficult one to sort of put into words until you actually notice yourself doing it. Now there's a question. Do you know, I don't think there was anything I didn't like. There was some stuff that was uncomfortable to do. Some of the coaching exercises he gave me were quite uncomfortable, just simply because of what you were thinking about, and you were having to write it down and then assess it, really. So you came out with some maybe slightly uncomfortable answers to things, but I don't think there was anything I didn't like as such, because you could see the benefit of being uncomfortable later on. So I really like just having those weekly check-ins, because it's a bit like the thing of deciding you're going to go to an exercise class with a friend, because you've said that you will be there at that time, and if you're not, you're letting them down as well. So just having that check-in every week was a good motivation for me, because, you know, I would have a set of goals for the week, and basically there was a bit of accountability. So I've got to be able to explain to him why I didn't do something if I didn't do it, or but also have that check-in of if I found something difficult, and he could talk you through that, and we could try and approach it in a different way. So just having somebody on the end of the phone, in a way, is really good. I get on really well with him. I find him he's very friendly, he's very open. I like the fact he'll call me out if necessary. So I don't think there's, you know, he takes no prisoners, if you like, and he makes me think through stuff. We had an interesting phone call one week where I can't remember how it started, but we were talking through some stuff, and it was about some stuff that happened in childhood, and we had that moment where 1 minute I'd got verbal diarrhea, and the next minute I was in a really uncomfortable silence, and I knew he was waiting for me to say stuff, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to let you make me go to that place, because if I do, I might cry. And but he sort of, not forces isn't quite the right word, but he's very good at just sitting back and letting you process stuff, and then coming up with a way to deal with it. So I like that about him, and I like the fact he's very open about his own stuff as well. So it makes it easier for you to be open as well, because I think if you're not open, you're not going to get the benefit of all the behavioural stuff, because I discovered that if you hold stuff back in, that is probably holding you back doing other things. So just having somebody to let it all out to is good. I'm not sure he appreciates it, but I did. So I have moments where I'm slightly pissed off with myself, because I'm like, oh, you could have done a bit better on the weight there. But actually, when I go back and think, I'm like, no, look, you've lost a pound or so every week. You've had a couple little blips, but it's just going down. So every time we look at the stuff, you know, the spreadsheets and charts and things, you can just see that it's going down all the time. And my measurements are going down all the time as well. So for me, I'm just quite proud of myself that I've sort of done what I was going to do. And because I think I've come so far psychologically, it's just knowing that I've got that motivation now to just keep doing that all the time and just keep going with it. Again, for me, I think the behavioural stuff, so it's not just that focus on the weight, because yes, my primary goal was to lose some weight, but I know when I started this, I knew that there was stuff up here that needed sorted out. So all the best thing for me has been all the coaching work and the behavioural stuff, which has just fed into the physical changes. Getting into my head, yeah, probably sorting my head out actually. So just almost like proving to me that I am capable of doing this stuff, because I think I'd got into that sort of cycle of, oh, it works for a bit and then I go wrong and then it fails, there's no point. Whereas now I've got to that point of, I know what I'm doing. Yes, I'll have the odd blip and maybe the odd failure, as it were, but that failure is something to learn from. So just carry on, learn from it, move on. Don't hold it all in a little box in your head, I think is a good thing as well. Yes. There's the element of I've lost weight, I'm still losing weight, I will continue losing weight, because I've made just small changes, but they've impacted the way my life runs, if you like. So they're no longer a thing I have to think about so much. So it sort of has become habitual, therefore it's not such a big change. So I'm proud of myself for actually getting that sorted. It doesn't sound like a big thing, but it's made a huge difference. So as you say, just bite the bullet and go for it, especially if you've tried all this things for years and you've got your gym membership that you don't use and all that sort of stuff, because I know the coaching isn't, it's not the cheapest option, but if you tot up all the stuff you've spent before trying to get your weight off or whatever it is you're trying to do, you're probably going to get more value for money out of it, because it's not just going to deal with getting the weight off, it's going to deal with why you've struggled to do that in the past, and unless you sort that bit out, you're never going to get anywhere in the future. So it's definitely worth it.